Many people in Plattsburgh have noticed an increase in the number of oil trains, once again moving Bakken crude from Canada down along Lake Champlain through the Adirondack Park.
That's right.
With tracks and tanker cars being upgraded, is it less of a worry than it was a few years ago, or is it still a major concern?
Little less of a worry that we'll have a catastrophic explosion as a result of a derailment, but not a lot less. The routine accident in the switching yard is less likely to cause a cataclysmic explosion. But derailments are still derailments. They tend to rip a hole in something when it falls off the tracks. And anywhere in the Adirondacks along that 100-mile stretch, we're going to get oil either in Lake Champlain or in significant wildlife habitat or in somebody's neighborhood. So that's something that still keeps us up at night. One of the solutions is troubling as well. One of the things that emergency management officials did very responsibly was to make sure that every community along the railroad tracks had the ability to access firefighting foam that might be necessary to try and control a spill. When a train goes off the tracks and a tank ruptures, you wind up with lots of pools of oil on the ground that the first spark can cause an explosion. This foam can be used to cover those pools and keep them from getting in contact with something that would blow them up. Unfortunately, it's also loaded with the same chemical that's found in non-stick coatings and plastics that they found contaminating the water supply of Hoosick Falls, New York, and Stephentown, and also that we're finding in places where this firefighting foam has been used extensively, including one spot, Lake Pleasant, inside the Adirondack Park. So we're concerned that the solution in this case may cause damage all by itself, and that's something that only adds a level of disconcert to our attitude about this whole thing. We'd really love to see a different route taken. The Canadians have been slow to find a better route to the East Coast refineries that they're trying to get their oil to, so instead they're sending it south from Montreal through Albany and then back out to sea in ships that come right back up to Canada again. About half of the volume is doing that. So if we could get that train traffic reestablished, and we understand Lac-Mégantic not wanting to be part of the oil patch anymore, but they've got to find another route to get their traffic over to the East Coast, and that would take a lot of pressure off of us. We'd love to see Congress ban the shipping of oil through the Adirondack Park. I mean, this wouldn't be tolerated in Yellowstone. It wouldn't be tolerated at Yosemite. We think the Adirondack Park is every bit as important, and certainly Lake Champlain is a drinking water supply for 188,000 Americans and Canadians. So there's no reason to put that at risk just to make an oil company a couple extra dollars a year. Canadian Pacific would survive without the oil traffic, and I think that we'd all rest a little easier if it wasn't chugging through our neighborhoods at night.
You and numerous other groups have been pushing for that for years. There really doesn't seem to be much of an appetite, though, in Congress to take such steps.
Congress has been very pro-fossil fuel, and the current administration has done nothing to change that. So perhaps the next election will change that attitude a little bit and we'll make some progress. But for now, we have not been able to get Congress to even consider making it harder to bring oil through the Adirondacks.